What's up, what's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here on this good Sunday afternoon, you guys, to discuss a brand new episode of Traitors on Peacock, you guys. Now, excuse me, y'all. Before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss episode 5 of The Traitors, shall we? All right, you guys. So if you guys were watching the video, if you guys watched the episode, feel free to let me know what you guys thought about it. And tell excuse Jesus. Feel free to tell me what you guys thought about the episode in the comment section. What up, D Movement? He said, "Oop, not the straggly throat. Yeah, my throat been a little. It's been scratchy for a few days, and I don't know what's going on. I don't think. Well, I'm not sick, so that's one thing. But I just don't know what the hell going on with my throat. But neither here nor there. This episode of The Traitors, I feel quite a few ways about this episode. There were some things that pissed me off in the episode. And if you guys know me, then you know that I am a big, huge Big Brother fan. I love Big Brother and I love Danielle. But Danielle, mama, I don't know what you were thinking and what you were doing in this episode. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I'm gonna say something that you guys might be surprised about too in this review. So you guys remember in last week's episode, we ended with the traders going to the turret, right? And so Bob the drag queen had been, banished, and he revealed that he was in fact a traitor, right? So we get to the turret. Now it's time for the traders to make up their mind on who they're gonna murder in this week's episode, right? Boston, excuse me, Boston Rob decides he wants to go the route of Robin. And this is gonna surprise you guys because if you guys know me and know me from the Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all know Robin Dixon ain't don't see it for her, right? I would be elated to see her, you know. I would have been elated at any point if this had happened at the beginning of the season, the first episode. I would have been elated to see Robin go home. But at this point, I'm like, that was stupid to take out Robin. I really think that that was a bad move. Whereas with Carolyn and Danielle, they both said Sam. I was like, Sam was a good choice, but I don't know if I would have went for Sam either. And then they also said Gabby. I was like, I would have went for Gabby. Gabby would have been a great choice to take out, right? D says, I'm gonna let you get to it later, but Danielle needs her behind whip. She does. And Tattooed Kim is a little too fidgety for me. I wouldn't want to work with Tattooed Kim, but I think Tattooed Kim is a better option than Boston Rob. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, they ended up taking out Robin. Again, like I said, I don't think Robin was necessarily the best move. I don't think she was the best move. So then we see as they go to breakfast, right? So everybody is showing up. You guys remember who all got the shields in last week's episode. So they all get there. What I will say about Dylan is not as dense and dumb as I was thinking he was, because he was one of the first people to clock Carolyn. Because he said, because when Carolyn came, now what I will say though, Carolyn is, yes, I felt this quirky thing is part of who you are, but it is very off-putting, right? I would immediately look at him and be like, y'all sure this self ain't no damn traitor. Because Tattoo Kim comes the way Tattoo Kim walked into that breakfast table, they were like, Tattoo Kim, did you go for a mile run before you came here? And she's like, I can't walk in these heels. I was like, well, who told you to wear the heels tattooed, Kim? If I had to put money on any trader making it far, far in the game, it would be tattooed Kim. It would be tattooed Kim. But ultimately, like I said, they took out Robin. I think that was a terrible move to go after Robin. D says, yeah, I definitely ain't a Robin. I definitely ain't Robin's biggest fan, but there was no reason to get rid of her. Basic, right? It's especially since she's been loud and wrong when it comes to all her guesses. She has been loud and wrong, and Robin thought she was doing the damn thing. I just don't think that there was. I didn't understand Boston. Also, I will agree with Tattooed Kim. So Tattooed Kim was like, when it came down to Boston Rob and Bob the drag queen, and it's the way she's saying drag queen. I'm like, what kind of accent do you have, lady? But she was like, it's an ego thing, and I was like, absolutely, I agree with that. That was an ego thing on Boston Rob's part, right? Because Bob never once said, oh, I think a traitor is Boston Rob. He literally said he just thinks that, he says one of the three men, he said the three men needed a shield because we think that they're traitors. He never, he never really said who he was talking about. But what I will say is a lot of y'all should be like, a hit dog will holler, but y'all ain't, I guess most of y'all ain't heard that saying that a hit dog will holler. Now, Alan comes in to let them know about the mission this week, right? So before we get to the mission, Lord Ivar, he had a conversation with, he had actually at the table, I think he was talking to Tattooed Kim as well as Bob Harper, right? And he was telling them, now see, I think that this was a bad game move as well. Like, there are some terrible faithfuls, and the traders, some of the traders are terrible too, right? Because here's the thing, I didn't understand why Ivar felt the need to tell Tattooed Kim and Bob Harper Wes's theory that Bob, not Boston Rob, is potentially a traitor, because how would you know definitively that someone's a traitor unless you're a traitor, right? I can give it to him, I can kind of give it to him telling Tattooed Kim and Bob H. I can kind of give it to him because he thinks that they're faithfuls, but I didn't understand him going back and telling Boston Rob unless he believes Boston Rob is a faithful, which I don't understand why he would think that, because Wes is right on the money. Because how would you know someone is a, like, how would you say I know 100% that this person's a traitor, and if they're not, send me home? He was bluffing, and y'all didn't catch the bluff. But okay, so Lord Ivar went and told Boston Rob. So Boston Rob went to go question Wes. Wes played it cool, and Wes was like, "No, I didn't say that. Never. Those words never came out of my mouth." I was like, "But the thing with Wes is from the challenge, so Wes knows how to play this game as well." And that's really the interesting thing. It's like the people who are from the world of reality game shows, they some of them are playing good, some of them are not playing so good. You know what I'm saying? And it's so I have so many feelings, because going into this season and knowing that Danielle was cast, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a great season, because Danielle is great at Big Brother. She's one of the best to never win Big Brother. And I was like, okay, she's gonna do good. Kind of like how I felt about Dan and Janelle last season. And Dan failed me miserably, and Danielle is failing me miserably this season. So people are still having their doubts when it comes to Nikki. And even some of the Bambies are having doubts when it comes to Nikki. More specifically, Trishelle. And I was like, that's interesting, Trishelle, that you have a doubt about your girl. And it's going to get deeper as we go on, right? So we see as they're on their way to the mission, and I can't remember who all was in the car, but I know who was in the back seat. It was Boston Rob, Trishelle, and Nikki. So Boston Rob told Nikki that he talked to Bob the drag queen the night before, and Bob said that he was going to mention her name at the round table, which that's actually false. Bob never. He said that Bob never said that. He's just planting seeds of doubt. What I will say to you, Boston Rob, I think you're playing too hard, too fast. Because I get you trying to plant seeds of doubt, but then like all the stuff that you're doing can backfire on you, right? Because you're the one that kind of you're the one that led the challenge against Bob the drag queen, right? You're also the one that's leading the charge against Nikki right now. So I don't think you're playing that well, my brother. HFG says I was enjoying Robin on this show much more than on Potomac. I absolutely agree. And I never thought I would say that. I would have never, if you told me this time last year that I would say I enjoy Robin Dixon, formerly of the Real Housewives of Potomac, on this show, I would have told you lying and you crazy. There and but you know what is so interesting though? People are liking Robin on this show the same way people liked Phaedra. Now I was in the minority last season. I still didn't like Phaedra, even though I will give it to Phaedra last season. She did play a great game, but she wasn't for me. She wasn't for me last season. She still isn't for me this like she would never be for me. That's all I got to say. So we get to the mission, right? So this mission is a mission where there are Alan is going to read them some riddles, and they're going to have to answer the riddles. Each riddle that they get correct is worth 2,500 apiece, right? So if they get, and what they do is Alan reads the riddle. They'll have to be the first one to step over into the area where you can go and get the riddles. Whoever's the first one over there, you pick up the riddle, you drop it into a circle of whatever he called it. And if you get yellow dust, then yellow or gold dust, that means you got money into the team pot, right? So ultimately, and there are two shields up for grabs. Danielle, this is where you completely lost me. And I'm gonna tell you guys why she lost me in a minute. Like, I want to understand it if you had an alliance with Dolores and the Housewives, but you don't. So what you did was kind of a little. It was theater, but it was non. It made no sense. It was nonsensical theater at the same time. So there are two shields up for grabs in this week's mission. Now, if you get the riddle correct, you can pick a portrait of somebody and put it on the board, and that person will have a shield. Consequently, is that a word? Yeah, I think that's a word. Now, if someone comes behind you and they also get the riddle correctly, then they can also either say, "Hey, I'm gonna put myself up here and take someone else off," and it goes back and forth, right? So the first person to get a correct answer was Derek. So Derek put his portrait up, right? Then after Derek, it was Tom. And I believe after Tom, it was Danielle. So instead of Danielle taking her portrait, which would have been the smart thing to do, she was like, "No more housewives." I was like, "Huh? No more housewives?" Danielle, this is stupid. This is dumb. Like you're showing your hand. A traitor would need a shield. So why are you like that was so I thought that was insane when she did that she literally took Dolores's picture and then replaced it with then replaced Dolores' picture, took Derek's picture and replaced Dolores. I was just like, Danielle, that doesn't make any sense. Now here's the thing, like I said a few minutes ago, I would understand it a little bit more if Danielle was in an alliance with like with the Bambies, right? I would understand like if the Bambies like say um Trishelle, which she did and end up going, like say Trishelle ended up going and she knows that the Traitors are potentially coming after Nikki, then it would make sense for her to be like, you know what? I think that the Traitors are coming after my girl Nikki, so let me put Nikki's picture up here, right? That would make sense. Same with Gabby. If Gabby felt like, okay, let me protect my girl Nikki, that makes sense. But Danielle, I don't think you have an alliance with Dolores. Like that put a target on your back, and that raised some red flags with people. Trishelle said it raised some red flags with her, but I was like, I don't know if it did, Trishelle, because you still think that Nikki is a traitor. So I don't think it raised any red flags with Trishelle. I think Trishelle was just talking. So it went back and forth, right? So at one point, Trishelle took her, put her portrait up and took down. So Tom had went again. Tom put his portrait up. Trishelle took Tom's portrait off, right? And then Danielle went again. Danielle ended up taking Trishelle's picture off and putting Derek's back up. I was like, Danielle, this is stupid. You really should have put your picture up there. And she's telling Derek, I was like, Danielle, that's not smart. 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 And Dolores was like, you don't think that you're going to be murdered? I was like, exactly. Exactly. I was just sitting here thinking to myself, like, why would you do that? So the final question, Sierra ended up getting it correct. And Sierra took down. So it ended up being Dolores and Sierra who have shields in this week's episode. I was like, okay, I'm glad Sierra took a shield because that definitely come like I don't know if they were gonna take her out, but see the thing is with Sierra, people still think that she's a traitor. So I don't know if that helped. The thing that's the interesting thing. I don't know if that helped or hurt Sierra. I don't know if that helped or hurt Sierra because people still feel that Sierra is a traitor. Now, this next murder, it's gonna be an interesting one to see where they go. They can't take out Dolores because she has a shield, and they can't take out Sierra. Huh, Sierra, I don't think you. I'm starting to like Sierra. Huh. I don't know if that. Actually, I don't know if that helps Sierra. I really don't think that they help Sierra, especially with the outcome at the end of this episode. I don't think that shield is helping Sierra a bit because the people are still thinking that the people who were in the coffin, they still think that one of them is a traitor. And Sierra, you're still left. So I'm pretty sure your name is going to come back up again, Sierra. I'm pretty positive Sierra's name is going to come back up once again. Now, at the end of this, they ended up banking $15,000 towards the pot. Now, here's where Danielle really lost me. Now, earlier in the episode, I forgot to mention is that we did see her. Now, we saw as she had a solo conversation with Carolyn, and you're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. They both say that they don't trust Boston Rob. Then we see Boston Rob having a conversation with Carolyn, and Carolyn's like she doesn't trust him, but he's telling her she's the only person that he trusts, and he got her. I was like, Carolyn, I don't know if you should fall for that. Now, on the way back to the castle, Danielle. You are one, like I said, you are one of my favorite Big Brother players of all time. You should have won your first season, but unfortunately, you did not win your first season of Big Brother. And that's terrible. But you're the reason for the jury. Now, you came back and played Big Brother All Stars. I think you played All Stars a little bad, but you kind of you found your footing. This girl, you ain't finding your footing. What was the purpose in you throwing Carolyn under the bus? I don't understand that. Why would you throw Carolyn under the bus? Boston Rob has done a fantastic job of doing that. All you have to really and truly, Danielle, all you have to do is just sit back and just be in the moment. Like, people are bouncing around Boston Rob's name. People are bouncing around Sierra's name. People are bouncing around Nikki's name. Nobody is saying your name. Dylan did say Carolyn's name, but that was it. Like, why would you throw Carolyn under the bus? I didn't like that, right? I didn't like you throwing the suspicion onto Tattooed Kim. Is Tattooed Kim fidgety and weird? Yes. But I kind of like Tattooed Kim. Now, the fact that she's jumpy, that would just be a problem for me. That would be my only issue with Tattooed Kim, is that she's just so jumpy and jittery. But I just did not agree with Danielle doing that. I was like, that's gonna bite you in the ass. And it's gonna bite her in the ass at the end of this episode and going into next week's episode. Now, the preview for next week's episode with Tattooed Kim throwing Danielle's name out at the round table, it's like y'all putting heat on each other. Y'all are playing stupid. Because here's my thing. I think that the Traitors should stick together for a certain amount of time. This is why I say I think that there should be some kind of a punishment for banishing a faithful. It will make them really want to focus in and hone in on who the traitors are. And there should also be a punishment for the traitors too. But okay, whatever. But the thing, like I said, the interesting thing is Boston Rob went after Bob and Drag Queen. Danielle is going after Tattoo Kim. Like next week, Tattoo Kim is coming after Danielle. Shit, if y'all keep doing this, it's gonna make it easy for the faithfuls to figure out who the traitors are and just pick y'all off one by one until they have to recruit somebody. And that's what Danielle wants, is to recruit someone. But of this motley crew, I'm sorry, of this motley crew that's left, I don't know. Oh God. You know what? If I had to, if it got to the point where they had to pick another traitor, who would you guys pick? Somebody who I would go for and I think would be a good traitor because nobody would suspect her. Gabby. I don't think anybody would suspect Gabby, and I would actually go for Gabby. I would actually go for Gabby because I think Gabby would be a great traitor. Nobody would suspect Gabby. Gabby plays this ditzy role, and nobody would suspect her. Because Tom, hell no, I want Tom gone. If I had to pick people, I would pick Gabby would be number one. But I was thinking Sierra, but I wouldn't pick Sierra because people already think Sierra's a traitor. So that would be stupid to pick Sierra. I would pick Gabby or Bob Harper because nobody would suspect those two. Those are two people that I don't think anybody would suspect would be Gabby and Bob Harper. Yeah, okay, so Miles agrees with me. You say Gabby. HFG says I agree. I think they should lose money when they vote out of faithful. That's what I think too. You also says Ivar because he would tell on himself, and the faithfuls will be happy to get a traitor. Yeah, I don't know what Ivar is just because when he went back and told um Boston Rob about West, I was like, that was stupid. But I think he would tell on himself, right? So we get to the round table. So it's so interesting. The round table didn't go the way that I was expecting it to go. It kind of did, but it kind of didn't. Because Trishelle had a conversation with Boston Rob, and she's telling Boston Rob that she's nervous, but she feels that Nikki is a traitor. And I was like, yikes. I was like, Nikki, this might be your time to go home. And unfortunately, Nikki got banished. I actually felt bad for Nikki. And her babies even voted against her. I was like, damn, you didn't even get 2 sympathy votes from your girls. So that was it, you guys. Now, who the traitors take out in this next week's episode, it's anybody's guess. So they can't take out Sierra and they can't take out Dolores. y'all hands are gonna be shown. I think at this point, y'all starting to kind of. Oh God, this is not gonna be a good one. So honestly, I think the easiest choice is Sam. Y'all should take out Sam at this point. Nobody thinks about Sam. I forget about Sam. I forget about Sam. Actually, you know what? If you want to go, no, that would be no, that wouldn't be a good decision because I was gonna say Trishelle. Actually, no, you could do Trishelle, and here's why. You can take out Sam because nobody remembers Sam, or you can take out Trishelle or Tom and pin it on the other person. Like, why are they not going after the people who have gone after other people? I don't understand that. It was so easy to go after the housewives. Ayan was no threat. Robin was a threat, but Robin, like Dee said, Robin was guessing wrong. Um Dorinda was no threat. At this point, I really do think y'all should go after either Trishelle or Tom and pin it on the other person because y'all know that they have an issue with each other. Why have y'all not played up to that? Why have y'all not played up to that? Or you could, oh, I was gonna say go, or you can go after, or you can take out Derek. Derek has been gunning for Sierra, that then puts the target squarely back on Sierra's back. Why y'all not doing the smart? These are smart things. Sierra has been Derek has gunned after Sierra because he thinks she's a traitor. Trishelle and Tom have gone back and forth about who's a traitor. Those are your easy options right there. So you can either take out Trishelle, Tom, Derek, or Sam. Those are four people that you can take out. And nobody would have any eyes on the three of you. Now, I forgot to mention that after the roundtable, Dylan had a conversation with Tattooed Kim to let Tattooed Kim know, hey, Danielle floated your name. I was like, oop, Danielle, this is not going to be good for you. As much as I love you, this is just not going to bode well for you. But yeah, you guys, that was The Traitors. I would say it was a good episode, but I would be lying if I. Here's the thing: it was a good episode, right? Good episode. I just think that the gameplay is very sloppy. I just think that the gameplay is very sloppy, and I don't. Here's my thing when it comes to the girls when they were in the turret. It's 2 against 1. The girls had a great suggestion: take out Sam or take out Gabby. Y'all should have took out Sam or Gabby and not Robin. Keep Robin in the game. The more that Robin goes, because Robin, here's the thing, Robin is so vocal at the round. That was stupid. Robin was so vocal at the damn round tables, and she's getting the traitors wrong. You could have used that to your advantage. You could have said, Robin, I think you're a traitor because every time we come to the round table, you like throw suspicion on Robin. Every time we come to the round table, you are one of the first ones to speak up about who you think is a traitor, and you're always wrong. Like, oh my God, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, you know what? I think they need to go back with. Like, I think they need to do what they did season 1. Have some regular people, and then also have it's be a mixture of actual reality TV stars and real regular people. I think that that would work. I don't know. But hey, let me know what you guys think. You guys, overall, like I said, good episode. Just the gameplay is just not making sense to me. And I know that, like, here's the thing, like with Boston Rob and Danielle, I know Danielle's history. I know she's a phenomenal game player. I know that about her. And from what I've heard about Boston Rob, I know he is a great game player from Survivor. It's just not translating on this show. And I also think part of here's the thing. I think part of the reason why it doesn't translate on this show is because the thing with again, I don't watch Survivor like that. I think I might start watching Survivor when the next season comes up. The thing about Big Brother and Survivor is those are month long. There's is a I know with Big Brother is a 3 month ordeal where they're in the house 3 months. They game from the minute they wake up to the time they go to sleep, right? And that's what they're used to. And I know with Survivor, it's kind of the same way. They game from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, and it's a ongoing process. Whereas with this one, I think they only filmed this show for about a month, and so I think that that'd be something that tripped them up too, right? It's a month, and they ain't filming 24/7. Um, Maul says they are also not a team sport. Rob is used to alliances, but that's very different from being a team. Rob is a control freak and needs to always be. Yes, I'm noticing that Rob is a control freak, especially in the turret when both Danielle and Carolyn are saying, "Let's go after, like, let's not go after the housewives. Let's go after somebody else." They threw out Gabby's name and they threw out Sam's name. That would have been easy choices right there. Those would have been easy choices, but they let Boston. I think Danielle was trying to play Rob, but I think it was a stupid thing to do. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn your post notifications on and share the video, you guys. And I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. So sometime today or maybe tomorrow. I think I might start this tomorrow. So if you guys didn't watch my Love After Lockup video, then what I'm gonna do is Netflix has two new shows. Well, one returning show and one new show that I'm going to review. It is Wags to Riches as well as Young, Famous, and African. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 episodes at a time, and I'm gonna upload two. So what I'm doing, if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. So I'll upload episode 1 and 2 of Wags to Riches and episode 1 and 2 of Young, Famous, and African. Then the next day it'll be episodes 3 and 4 of both shows, and then 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. So it'll be 4 days of each episode. And that's it, you guys. And I will catch you guys later. So later on, and also you guys, we have Real Housewives of Potomac, Marriage Medicine, as well as Baddies. And I'll catch you guys later. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, you guys.